Hey guys, it's Blaze. We're back with another one. Today we are on another D&D story where I tell you all about a character I have made, their backstory, their life, everything about them, as much as I can, sharing with you the ideas I have made, and without further ado, let's get in the video. Alright, boys and girls, it's Blaze, and we're here with another one. I've mentioned him a few times. I think his name is Screech. I think I've actually mentioned him in videos in the past before I even did the D&D saga. But before I get into too much detail, let's start the music. This is going to be a fresh video, even though I am actually recording this after Misery's video, but we're going to have a new music video for you, because I like to have a music video for every 2 videos. But before I get into too much detail, about his backstory, that is. First and foremost, I mentioned in Misery's video that these 2 goblins I had that I'd kind of just fused together. So the goblin I made on my phone was a goblin druid named Snargle. And he was going to be interesting because I was just going to have him make noises like he's talking goblin the entire time, like he didn't know common. I thought it'd be funny. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to scrap that because I made his last name Screech in memory of Screech. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's make him Screech. This is going to be fun. I'm like, playing Screech is going to be great. It's going to be a fun campaign with Screech. And it's like, you might be wondering, who the heck is Screech? Why are you talking about Screech for? So, I had a campaign. I used to play it on Wednesday nights. I think I used to mention it's like I wouldn't record on Wednesdays because I had Wednesday D&D. And we were going to do another campaign, but it kind of fell through. Mentioned that Hoots video, which I'll try to link at the end of this. I'm almost losing track of stuff. So, yeah. I had a campaign where I was the DM. And then it ended, and then one of the players is like, hey, I'll run a campaign. And I was going to play Hoots for his campaign. And it just kind of fell through. So now I just have Hoots on the drying rack. Yeah, Screech. I say he's from the campaign I made, which means I didn't technically play him, but I enjoyed him enough that I want to play him. He is an NPC that I made, Screech. So essentially the campaign went, because I don't really explain it in his backstory, so I'm going to mention it now, and then all the mentions later in his backstory you'll be like, ah, yes, that makes sense. So in the campaign it started off, I forget the name of the planet, but there's this planet that everyone avoids, but everyone goes to it every so many years. I think it's like 1,000 years or something like that. I can't remember. But there's a tournament that's always held on this planet. And whoever wins gets this item that allows them to make one wish. And they also get to be the king of that planet for the entire year. And then it goes dormant for the rest of the 1,000 years or whatnot. So Screech, with his best friend Bardock, which we'll get to that later. That I actually explained. Him and Bardock kind of separate, so they didn't, have to fight each other. They got on. So for the planet, they picked certain planets that were close by, and had a ship pick a bunch of people up. So they were like, "Hey, go to any planet listed on this list, and we'll pick you up there at this town and take you to said planet for the tournament." So it starts off like a battle royale, so the second you land, it's like a bloodbath. So they wanted to stay separated so they didn't fight each other until, like, the end or something like that. So they separated, Screech and Bardock. So Screech didn't get added on later on, but at the beginning of the campaign, they had Bardock. And then they just kind of made their way to the middle, because there was a certain point on the planet they were supposed to make it to. And actually, by the time they made it there, they had already made it to the point where it was the last 20. So they said it's a battle royale until the last 20. Then it's an actual tournament. And then we actually had a tournament, and then we had player-on-player fights, and it was a drawn-out experience. Neither of my NPCs won. It was actually the guy that was going to run the D&D campaign where Hoots was going to be in. So he actually won the wish. Yeah. So then they went there, but then by the time they got to the final 20, they realized this was this organization trying to take over the universe, because they said the universe wasn't right. It was kind of leading on like it was, Sidious from Star Wars trying to take over the universe. Give it order, as they would call it, order. And so they were trying to so-called fix it, but everyone realized it's like they're not trying to fix it, they're destroying it. And so we need to stop it. That's what everyone came up to do. So this party of people that they were just temporary a party to the tournament, they said, let's help each other get to the top 20. And they did. And after that, they're like, you know what? Let's put an end to these people. Let's hunt them down and put it into it for good. And Screech and Bardock decided to join them. So they were both NPCs that joined the party and then helped them fight the BBG. I don't think they actually helped fight the BBG. I think they stayed behind to hold off the crowd of warriors that was trying to help the BBG. Because there was this army that the BBG had at the end trying to decimate them so he didn't have to fight himself. And it's like, I think Screech and Bardock was holding them off so they could fight the BBG. Because I actually don't think I had any NPCs actually helping them in the BBG fight. I think all the NPCs were just holding off the herd, which by the point they got to the BBG, I think there was like 6 NPCs. Fun thing about me being a DM, I have a bad habit of making too many NPCs. So I try to cut some off at some point. So for like a few sessions, I had like all 5, and then it was just Screech and Bardock. And then, because they were like, hey, let's go separate ways, maybe we can find out more information. And then like the session before the last, they met up, and it's like, hey, let's confer, what information do you have? And then it's like, yeah, that's how that went. So that's the campaign Screech is from. I don't remember what it's called, I don't remember the planet's name, but essentially, that's where they're from, and they kind of went their separate ways after the end of the fight. But you see, this is a campaign where I was trying to go off the people's backstories a little bit. So a character named Zero, I'm not going to say the player's name, but the character Zero is kind of like a Transformer, but he's a Warforged, or she's a Warforged, I mean. And it's her name's actually a bunch of numbers, but we just called her Zero for short. So her planet was decimated after she was sent off for a mission. And the reason I'm telling you this is it matters for the backstory later. Her planet got decimated. Some of the people that worked for the BBG were bringing it back to life. So all the Warforged that died were brought back to life, and they were fighting for the BBG. So they had to take back Zero's planet. And we'll get into... so after they beat the BBG, Zero went to go put the planet back to order and remake her planet good again. And we'll get to why that relates later. or I guess right now, because we're going to talk about the backstory before I continue any further. And then we'll do stats. So, Screech, before I continue, is a Goblin Bard. So I mixed a Goblin Bard and a Goblin Druid together. Snargle and Screech. So we have Snargle, Screech. Or rather, we're just going to call him Screech. So, yeah. Snargle, Screech. So, backstory time. Snargle Screech is someone who grew up in a giant town. Not a giant town. It's a great town. Someone who grew up in a great town until it got invaded. Because, you know, all towns get invaded. Especially goblin towns. Screech didn't know what to do. He was scared because he's just a little guy. Okay, Screech didn't really like to fight. He liked it to support people. He had a lot of support spells. So he didn't know what to do. He was nervous. Didn't want to fight. But one day, this party came to the rescue. Bardock was part of this party. After the party helped out Screech, he decided he wanted to be an adventurer. Because, you know, by this time, he was just, you know, a humble merchant. He's like, maybe I should do something better with my life. He's like, you know what? Adventuring doesn't sound too bad. Let's go adventuring. And he asked to join them. So, they let him join. So he indeed, so he joined them, and then it led to his first, adventure. After the party eventually split, because all parties split eventually, only two was left. Or were left. Only two were left. Bardock and Screech. They became the best of friends. So this is how I met Bardock, just from the party that rescued his village. They decided to stick together forever, but of course it's not forever. Screech is a goblin that has many stories. The biggest story is where he and his friend Bardock joined the tournament for a wish. Of course, the tournament had evil forces messing with it, and of course, a party of people decided to take them down, which is the campaign we had. Screech was among them. After the big fight with BBG, they went on with their lives. But instead of Bardock traveling with Screech, and this is where Zero's world comes into play, they go their separate ways, because Bardock wanted to help Zero rebuild her world. I wrote his, I need to change that. Because Bardock wanted to help Zero rebuild her world, so Screech decides to go on his own for once. He's been with a few parties at this point. He feels like he's, you know, built up some strength. Of course, he's the friendly bard that does a bunch of supporting spells. But he decides to go on his own for once, finding his own path, finding other parties and helping them. Eventually, along this way, after like a party or two, he decides to change his class. He wants, he was a bard, now he's going to be a druid. It's like normally this doesn't happen, but think about it. By the time this campaign ended, he was like level. I think I made them level 17 or something like that. Level 16, 15, somewhere along that range. So he's a high level bard. So he just kind of gave up all of his bard stuff and started out fresh with druid at like level 1. So throughout his travels, Screech started to care more about wildlife and nature, which of course, this made his reason for switching. Because he cares more about nature and wildlife now. He wants to learn more about it, he cares more about it. However, he still has a flute and a love for music. So he's just kind of switching from bard to druid gradually as he levels up through druid. But he still will always have a love for music, and he will always have a flute. I don't know what it is with me and bards and flutes, but it's a thing. I don't know why. But yeah, that's Screech's backstory. I think it's short and sweet, and I'm glad I explained all the stuff earlier so you actually can understand his backstory. and it's great. But as for the image and background, the image is what Screech looks like. He's a gray goblin. He wears a lot of gray clothing, kind of simplistic. This is actually the image I used for his token on D&D. What's it called? Roll20. This is actually the image I used for Roll20 for his token when he was an NPC. And then as for the forest, it relates to him, starting to care for the forest and wanting to become a druid. So, yeah, Screech is on his own, helping out other parties along the way. Now he gets to join his own, and I get to play him as one. Yep, it's gonna be a great little campaign. Don't know what weapon he had. I hope it's rapier because he had a rapier before. I actually haven't looked at the character sheet. Oh, how long? So, this is level 1. I thought they were all level 5. So for this video, Screech is level 1. Just telling you all right now. This is all going to be low level crap. So he has 11 HP, 17 armor class. He has 13 strength, 18 dex, 16 con, 14 intelligence, 17 wisdom, 10 charisma, saving throws and intelligence and wisdom. Skill proficiencies are investigation, insight, perception, and survival. He has leather armor and a shield. That's lovely. Oh, it's a scimitar. So, oh no, he had a scimitar before. I thought it was a rapier, but no, he was weird. He had a scimitar. So he has his scimitar still, but he picked up a shield along the way. Is what happened. So, looks like he's just got a few spells. He's got 2 cantrips: Create Bonfire and Thorn Whip. And he's got level 1 Absorb Elements, Cure Wounds, Entangle, and Goodberry. So he's still kind of a supporter character. He just kind of gave up on a lot of stuff and decided to go a different route. Is all that really changed. But yeah, I like Screech's story. I like how I had him in that campaign, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind playing him again. And then I saw Snargle, and I'm like, you know what? It's like, I probably would enjoy playing Screech more. It's like, let's just, adapt to this character to make him Screech. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great time. So yeah, that's about it for Screech. I would say I hope I got everything, but I'm pretty dang sure I got everything. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot about Snargle. He was even on my phone when I'm here clicking on all the characters. And then when I started making Talorus and Cypher, I was like, oh, there he is. And I'm like, why haven't I made a video for him? But, yeah. So, that just leaves us with one more video, guys. And, I'm about to record it right after I end this. So, it's, sad time that this has come to an end, but all good things come to an end. Speaking of an end, I believe, let's see here, I actually want to get my dates right for once. So this is coming out on the 26th, so yes, my dates are right. So this Saturday, which is in 2 days, speaking of coming to an end, will be the last episode of Cuphead. Unless you all want me to 100% Cuphead, the last episode will be this week. If you all want me to 100% it, let me know. Comment it or something. Comment's probably the best way to reach me because I always look at my comments. But yeah. Cuphead ends this Saturday as D&D will end tomorrow. I'm sure I'll make more characters in the future. Hopefully I used all these characters I've made before I make another one. But, I like making characters. It's fun. It's a little hobby of mine. The rough thing is, I'll make something homebrew and then want to make a character based off of what I've made. And that's the hardest part. But, yeah. So, a lot of these characters are going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to play a lot of them. But yeah, tomorrow, we do have another bard. I know I said Screech was a bard. He's not anymore. He's a druid. All the bards have is Flopsy and Nixie. But tomorrow we have one that I forgot about. So I actually have 3 bards. And I didn't have a name for him, but I made a name for him. And his name is Deathhead. So we will be discussing Deathhead tomorrow. Without further ado, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Thank you all for watching. This is Blaze. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe this will inspire you to make your own D&D character. Somewhat like what I have made, or something completely different. Maybe it just inspired you to play D&D. Whatever the case, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.